Hello, hello, and welcome to Hygiene Elevated Conversations and Innovations. Today we have a special guest. We have Fog Headz as our guest today, and representing Fog Headz is Smiley Seth. So, Seth, I'm going to give you the floor to introduce yourself and introduce your company and kind of your role in starting that. So, welcome.
Well, thanks a lot, Amanda and Joffrey. Really appreciate it. My name is Seth Walbridge. I'm a dentist of almost 15 years now in Easton, Pennsylvania, which is the home of Crayola crayons, if you must know.
Oh.
And I helped to start the company Fog Headz, and it's just been a great experience so far. I was a big doubter at first, but essentially everything started out over some bar talk, believe it or not. I had a friend, Tom, who is an engineer, and he had this material that they were using on basically freezer doors in grocery stores. So you would open the freezer door, and when the door would shut, it would prevent fog from forming on the doors.
Oh, okay.
So, it was Tom and the rest of our friends that are in the company, and we all grew up together in Northeast Ohio. So Tom, Tony, and Daniel. And just during the day, I had a tough pediatric patient that I was seeing. And he was doing the whole breathing. And I was like, oh, yeah, just breathe through your nose, 5-year-old. Like, no problem. Right. So it was just really hard to work on him. And that night, I had seen these guys at a bar in our hometown, probably over Thanksgiving. And I heard him talking about this. And I said, man, this would, I could have used that on my dental mirror today, sort of thing. So, we had a discussion, and then I had a friend, one of the Tonys in the group, sent me some of the product, and I was a big doubter. I'm a dentist and I'm a man, right? So no one's going to tell me that I have a fog issue on my mirrors. So then I tried it, and lo and behold, the stuff worked. It was what the stuff they had sent initially was way too big for the mirror. So I just kind of gave my input, cut it down, put a little tab on it so it's easy to remove, etc. Convenience things. And I kind of gave them that input, and then I said, okay, see you guys later. This is nothing. So then they sent it back, kind of what I wanted modified. And when it came back, it worked really well. And then I started to kind of become a believer in this stuff. Then I started using it with patients. It was making me more efficient. The mirrors weren't getting scratched. And from there, we just started, we need a website, and, how do we get the word out about this thing? It was working really well in my hands. So we started giving it to our hygienist, because I don't know if this is the same place where you are, but the relationship between dentist and hygienist is strained. Especially in my neck of the woods. So we were actually kind of using this as an olive branch to hygienists. I'm very limited in private practice now, but whenever I'm there, I'm handing these things out, and they're a big hit. And we just want the hygienist to know we hear them, and we're here for them. So trying to mend that relationship. But other than that, it's what we're finding is Fog Headz is really the only product on the market that'll prevent fog on the dental mirrors while protecting them from scratching and damage. And it's an all-natural product, which is kind of unheard of, all the way down to the adhesive component, which is a food grade that you would find on, a sticker on your oranges at the grocery store, for example. And that's really it for now. It's just we're having success with it, and we just want to get the word out, because it's making me and other colleagues way more efficient, and hygienists are able to afford it also, because we wanted to make it very affordable. If you work in a practice, if you're a dental associate and you don't want to go to your owner to buy a bunch of stuff for you, or if you're a hygienist and you don't want to go to your owner to buy a bunch of stuff, or your employer, it's just been great in that regard too, because it's very affordable for people. They don't have to really go out of their way. They can buy it themselves if they want. So we've had a lot of success with that as well.
I know that right there is Joffrey's love language. Being able as a hygienist to purchase things and not have to go through red tape, as it were.
Exactly.
Because it's frustrating sometimes. There is that disconnect of like, hey, I want good stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't have doctor money, but sometimes we are absolutely willing to invest in ourselves
Mm-hmm.
for efficiency, for a better clinical day, to make, ergonomics, whatever it is. So I appreciate you saying that. And I
Yeah.
appreciate any olive branch that you extend to hygiene. So thank you for that.
Of course.
Also interesting. So all natural. So tell me a little bit more about the plastic. I know that's not a question
Mm-hmm.
that we had thought about, but
Right.
so the adhesive is food grade.
Mm-hmm.
What about like the plastic aspect of it?
Mm-hmm. So it's an all natural product. So we're not recommending this because we're still going through some FDA clearance, but you could ingest it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not telling people to eat this thing. It's a little sticker on your dental mirror, and it's not FDA approved quite yet. We're working on it, but that plastic is all natural, and it's more. Think of it more of like an adhesive. So it's a little sticker that goes on the dental mirror, and it's hydrophilic. So a lot of the products out there are hydrophobic. They repel the water. This one's hydrophilic, so it'll actually absorb that water like a sponge, and it spreads the
Oh.
water out evenly over the surface, the moisture from fog. We have hygienists that we kind of watch how many times they're coming out of the mouth or sweeping the mirror on the cheek, that sort of thing, and it's far reduced. And in my hands, if I'm doing a quadrant of dentistry, I don't have to come out of the mouth nearly as much to modify or wipe the mirror down. So that adhesive is, again, it's an all natural product that's mainly hydrophilic instead of hydrophobic, and that's been a big help, especially if you're a hygienist and using like a piezo or a cavitron, and it's getting hit with water.
Mm-hmm.
The air abrasion material now, the products like the guided biofilm therapy, that air abrasion as it hits the mirror can make them dingy over time, and this will actually protect it from that air abrasion as well.
And even just keep the mirror cleaner longer. I know
Yes.
there's always like those mirrors in our kits that like some of them are totally fine and you will see
Mhm.
everything all day, and others that they, for whatever reason, just have the little bubbles on them,
Mhm.
and you just consistently have to create that water barrier
Right.
over it, and
Hmm.
it's annoying. So
Wear and tear.
something that makes a consistent view is just less eye strain, and
Mhm.
that's really interesting. I love that it came from an idea with refrigerator, like freezer
Right.
barrier. That's
Right.
so funny.
Hmm.
Okay, no, I'm sitting here thinking I love how this story actually came to be, like just bar conversation, hanging out after work,
Hmm.
avoiding our families for Thanksgiving, right?
Right.
And
Pretty much. Yeah.
right, rightfully so. And gosh, how many times have I had bar ideas for Amanda, and Amanda has to just like, okay, yeah, let's do that. So that's my love language right there, coming up with
Perfect.
ideas
Hmm.
on random settings with random friends.
Yeah.
And um, I'm thinking about working in clinic. I remember when right after COVID and we went back to the offices, I was using, and I can't remember the name of it, but it was like a high speed suction with a mirror
Hmm.
attached to it.
Yep.
And it was not a hydrophilic absorbing mirror. And so what was happening, it would be like these globs of water sitting on the mirror,
Hmm.
blocking my view. So when I get to experience the fog head and how it is hydrophilic and the whole mirror stays crystal clear the whole time you're working, is amazing.
Hmm.
I have had so many patients, not so okay, a good handful, right, where they've got just a ton of calculus on those lower anteriors, and we're in a time crunch and they were probably late and they're talking too much and
Of
they have
course.
to go to the bathroom, right? Because that's this
Mhm.
type of person.
And their tongue's
And
all over the place.
yes, but they're doing that mouth breathing thing. Like every 2 seconds, your mirror is fogging up, right?
Mhm.
And you're making it so difficult to get this tenacious calculus off
Right.
because it's that constantly breathing. And I almost have to take a step back in those situations and like, Joffrey, relax, they're not doing this on purpose.
Right.
But it feels like it's on purpose. Like, why are you sabotaging my afternoon?
Yep. That's with sealants too, especially like if you're doing sealants on a child. This has been even for me. So I'm not above doing sealants on children, right? So if I see a child, I have to have this thing because you can see the whole time, even if you're doing one on like, number 2 or number 15, like my most hated teeth in the mouth. This has really come in handy for that.
Oh, those kids are such mouth breathers too, and they're
But
in
so beautiful.
So you guys are incredibly generous with samples. You were handing out samples like crazy at Under One Roof.
Mhm.
And when we were in contact, you also sent us samples, of course, for us to try. And I was like, yeah, I'll take more samples. No problem. I used this during a scaling and root planing procedure. We know the bloodiest of all procedures. And it did absolutely. I didn't even think about the process and how it works. But the amount of blood that was on my mirror and the amount of times that I had to stop, I, again, didn't process, oh, this is what it's supposed to do. It really did help make that a little bit more streamlined, less had a just continual cleaning of the mirror during that procedure. So anytime that I have a better visual during SRP is so much better.
Yeah. And it's not perfect either, right? Like this isn't like an earth-shattering product for dentists and hygienists, but it just makes your life a little bit easier, and it's been great. So I agree.
I used to work for a cosmetic office, and the doctor that I worked for, I love him and have all the respect in the world for him. But this man is a mirror diva. And I kid you not when I say that. 6 mirrors per kit.
Wow.
And they are all, I'm not joking.
Impressive.
And they will all be wiped down with lens cleaner throughout the procedure. And if there is a hint of a scratch on there, it's going in the sharps. In hygiene kits, there are 2, one for him and one for the hygienist.
Interesting guy.
The American Academy of Cosmetic Dentistry. I don't know. I don't know what they do there, but yeah. So he was one that I thought of with this product to help with that. The fog, being able to see, that was a big application that I thought of besides outside of the hygiene realm of things, but those cosmetic or those really diva dentists that just need all the mirrors perfectly clean all the time.
God love them.
Well, have you ever had a mirror that was so scratched up and you just didn't realize until you realized? And you're like, what am I using?
Of course, yeah. And I'm a typical guy, right? So I'm one of those dentists that, we're going to use that mirror until it's completely covered in junk and scratches. They'll last a little bit longer with these on there. Like I said, it's not perfect, but what we're finding is people are having to buy a lot less mirrors. And we even have some hygienists that will kind of use their own money to buy better mirrors or the double-sided mirrors now because they know that they're going to last a little bit longer. They're willing to pay a little bit more themselves, which is good. We're not saying, everyone should buy their own stuff. In my opinion, the employers or the owner dentists should be helping out their teams with this stuff. So it's been good to help out.
But too, we have hygienists working in non-clinical settings now, getting out and treating patients in the public and making house visits in some states. This is great for them. They're already facing so many other battles and obstacles when they are doing some homebound hygiene delivery. And this is, even if, it's not perfect, but I think it's an amazing solution. Especially for somebody who is facing other obstacles on bringing the equipment in, setting it up, all of that. So I think this is helping way more people than you even would have considered.
That's great. I mean, that's really good to hear. And we like to say it's kind of like our nerdy gimmick is that you don't have to work alone anymore because you have, that little owl over your shoulder with this material that's keeping it clear for you. It's like someone's in there like blowing air on it, but they're really not. So our little nerdy saying is you don't have to work alone when you're using these anymore.
That's funny.
Oh.
I like that. You don't have to work alone. I see myself working faster with it, a little more efficient. Ergonomics can improve. We can spend time on things that matter us, right?
Right. And ergonomics is a big thing now too, because Cindy, she's a big ergonomics person in the hygiene world. She says every movement matters, and it really does. If you want to be, and you all know, if you want to do hygiene for 40 years, every little movement you make throughout your career compounds over time, and it really matters. Like, you want your hands to last and hold out for the duration of your career, and you don't want to get carpal tunnel surgery. But even those small swipes of the cheek, or if you're trying to keep the mirror from fogging and you're holding it at an awkward angle so you're not hitting it with air or water, what have you, what a lot of people don't realize, those movements matter. And they might not matter now, but to do the job, as you know, it's rigorous, especially if you're working, with tough patients. To do that for 20, 30, 40 years, ergonomics is a huge deal right now that I think is underlooked by a lot, and that I think this product really helps out with.
Yeah. Going back to price point. So for our listeners who are not familiar with your products, what is the price point? You describe it as like a little sticker that goes over the mirror. So it's single use, non-autoclavable. What is that price point? What size packs do you sell these in as a direct to clinician method?
Gotcha. Man, am I glad I wrote this down. So the smallest pack we sell is going to be like our new sample pack. That's $3.99. So you'll get a 10 pack, and we just want it to be affordable, right? So most people are willing to try the 10 pack, which is 10 patients. You can get a good, feel for how this thing works in your hands. It might not work in everyone's hands. So we sell the smallest pack for $3.99, and that's a pack of 10. The next pack that we'll sell is a pack of 60, and that runs about $22.99. We sell a 150 pack, and that's $49.99. And we have a 300 pack that is for $79.99. And then when you buy the 150 to 300, and we realize that's a lot. We want people to be, obviously you want to be more committed, or, maybe you're sharing them with the other hygienists in the group. It ends up being about 20-ish cents per patient. So that's what we're telling owner dentists, or, if you want to pitch the idea to your owners, we say it's around 20 cents per patient.
Small price to pay for an olive branch, right?
Right. And with my thing is, you're more than making that back on efficiency. I am as a dentist. I know for sure. Like it's definitely worth doing from a time efficiency standpoint. And it also helps to be able to see what you're doing with sharp instruments.
And extending the life of your equipment.
Exactly. It'll be less, in the long run, less overhead on a dental office, which is what a lot of owners are concerned about, especially now.
Well, what I'm thinking is, okay, you guys have this cool product. You're selling it for pennies. How do you afford getting this like FDA approved? How does this make sense?
I'm just going to level with you. We have to continue just doing what we're doing, honestly, because when you're talking about FDA clearance, you're talking $10,000 to $20,000. We're a small group. We're just trying to get the word out. It's just crazy how well it's been working. And then when it gets into people's hands and they realize it, they're like, whoa, there's literally no catch to this. No catch. It's a sticker that goes on the mirror. You had mentioned autoclavability earlier. It's not autoclavable, but if you leave it on the mirror in the autoclave, if you forget to take it off, it won't ruin your mirror either. So it kind of shrivels up and falls off the mirror. If it doesn't fall off, you can just kind of like flick it off the mirror.
Yeah.
So
I autoclaved it just to check and see. I was like, I wonder what this is going to do. So I used a mirror that we wouldn't have mind sacrificing, but
good.
Yeah, it did exactly what you said. It did not ruin the mirror. It just kind of, if anything, kind of helped protected it. So that's kind of a nice thing, because I think so much of the scratching happens in the ultrasonic unit. So heck yeah.
And the only other thing that I'll mention about it is, some of these mirrors have a special coating on them, And what we have found, because believe me, I've autoclaved numerous mirrors just to check on different brands. Sometimes if they have a special coating on them, it will mess with the coating. So I don't want to say the cheaper the mirror, the better. But I am telling people just to be a little weary if you spent an arm and a leg on a mirror and it has a special coating on it. It can mess with those coatings.
Okay.
But it's rare.
Well, no, I think this is amazing that you guys had a cool idea, brought it to life, and then made it affordable for the providers to get their hands on. It wasn't like you guys said, we have this cool product and it'll be $1 million. Come try it if you can.
Yeah.
I really like the practicality and how obtainable that this is for providers.
I agree. And that was the whole goal. And especially in my neck of the woods, I used to be the chair of the new dentist committee for the ADA. And just all the sad stories of these associate dentists, having trouble. No one wants to buy them equipment that they want. They're in school or they hear about something. It's really hard for them to actually go out and buy things because they're associate dentists. They haven't been doing it for that long. Or new hygienists. They're going into a practice and they had heard of something or they want something, and it's hard to get their hands on this stuff. So that's kind of one of the things we said, like, we have to do this so it's affordable for people and it helps get it into their hands faster too.
Thinking back to being a new graduate, I know it was a decade ago for me, but the hardest thing to get my hands on as a new grad, that was the biggest pill to swallow, was probably a pair of loops. It was like, do I really need this? This is so expensive right now. By the way, I'm glad I got the loops, but gosh, that was one of those hard things to get, though. You're so broke and you're trying to invest in yourself, but you are broke.
And you don't want to admit it. At least these young dentists don't want to admit it. They want to show that they're successful or that they look successful, that sort of thing. So, you don't have to do that. This is affordable.
I feel like once you've been practicing for a while, you get real humbled.
Right.
You're okay with the honesty.
You all know how it is. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We all know the statistics. When you graduate, you're broke.
Right.
It's fine. So what year, I missed it at the beginning. When did you guys start your collaboration from engineering to dental?
So I would say this has been going on for about 2.5 years, almost 3 years. But it was kind of, we're going back and forth with the design. We didn't want to put an unsafe product out there either, right? That it only takes one bad situation. So we wanted to make sure that the product was safe. Another fun fact is that it's certified kosher. So they had used the material on a freezer in the New York area, and it had to be certified kosher. So it does have that among certifications that we're working on. We have that. So yeah,
well, I need to know if it's cruelty free and vegan and all those other
I'm pretty sure no animals were harmed during the making of this. So in fact, I can guarantee that none on my watch.
Okay. So you're a fairly recent business, and you guys are really gaining momentum. Are there other avenues that you're looking at, other ways to implement this, other products, or are you guys going to start making your own mirrors?
So anything glass, honestly. So it's kind of a fun thing that we toyed around with, but I'm originally from Ohio. I live in Eastern Pennsylvania now, but Tom and our team, they sent me a state of Ohio that you can put in your bathroom. So if you take a shower, just that part of the mirror won't fog. So it's like a state of Ohio I have in my bathroom. So there's that application. We're not really marketing that application. That's more of just a fun thing. And then we are interested in the future in doing kind of like your safety glasses or your loops, having material that we can put on there, possibly embedding it into the glasses or the loops, occlusal mirrors that you might take photos of.
I was going to ask about that one.
Yep, we're in the process of that.
Okay.
And then I'm personally in touch with an equine dentist, so a horse dentist, who has the same issue when they're removing a tooth or doing things on horses. So that's just kind of a fun thing that I'm looking into now, among other things. So, and there's of course windows for businesses, windows in buildings, among other applications. So we're mostly kind of focused on the dental world right now, and see how it goes. So as you know, you need money to do a lot of these other things. So if things go well in the dental world, perhaps we're going to expand into other avenues as well.
I forgot to say, and I apologize. Go Buckeyes.
Okay, yeah, I'm with you.
I'm sorry.
Yep, I'm an Ohio State fan. I'm an Ohio sports fan in general. I don't advertise that too much. My wife is from Pittsburgh, so we have some fun bouts there. And she did a fellowship year in Michigan. So I don't advertise to my friends, but I did live in Michigan for a year, and it was wonderful living up there. So
there were no jellyfish, so you were safe.
There were no jellyfish on the lakes up there. So
no, I love your ideas of application, and I was thinking that the mouth mirror, like the occlusal imaging.
Photography in general.
Yes, because that same doctor that was the diva with the mirrors, we were AACD, and we did all the, retracted 1 to 2s, all of those. And that was a skill, holding all that stuff, keeping that mirror fog free, holding a big old camera.
Yep.
So yeah, that was for sure. Okay. What about intraoral cameras? Can we talk about that one?
So that's a possibility as well. Something that we're currently looking into. It's hard because there's a lot of cameras that have different, sizes. In general, the dental mirrors have, 3 or 4 sizes that are used nationally. But we are in discussions with intraoral camera. I've just put a dental mirror one on an intraoral camera and just wrapped it around a little bit. Worked great. But it is something that we're looking into. We don't have a product for that yet, but that is something that we have talked about. We've talked about a lot of things, but that's definitely in the works, because as you know, that's another frustration, is fogging of the intraoral camera.
Yeah, I love intraoral images. Pretty much every patient, they're going to get a picture when you come into my office. We're talking about something, and I'm going to show you it. Right. So that's a big one for me.
It's
okay,
huge,
in all fairness, I didn't ever think about how hard it would be to get a horse to breathe through their nose.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
That's a very valid point. What a game changer. Wow.
It's just a fun thing. And horse have teeth too, right? So horses, they need some love. And the person that I was talking to, the vet, was, they have this big bucket that they dip their mirrors in, and they're constantly going back and forth. And I was like, well, what if we just stuck something on there that, and this was funny because it was on an airplane. I just happened to be sitting next to a vet.
That's the best.
Oh, wow.
Airplane. And I was pulling up the website and our website and everything for them. So
business expense on that.
Yeah, you would think, but no, I'm not that smart. I'm not that good. So, we talked to them, and it's just been a very fun project to get involved with them. So, among other applications. So,
yeah, it's so interesting. I mean, Joffrey and I started the podcast 1.5 years ago, and just all of the conversations that we get to have, just different hygienists, different businesses, different things. It's so cool where we're at in dentistry, and all of the forward motion with the technology and the development. It really is so cool. So thank you for being a part of that. Thank you for the innovations. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for having conversations with people on airplanes, all those things.
Right.
Yeah, and I want to say, how do you do all of this? You're at the schools, you're in the clinic, you're an entrepreneur, you've got the kids, you've got the wife. Like, how are you managing this? I need some pointers.
Well, it is my wife, honestly. So my wife's a critical care anesthesiologist. So,
oh my gosh.
she's really busy, and part of the reason why I'm doing a lot of time at the school is because it allows me the time to be able to pick my kids up, drop them off, do the work. I cover offices. I work as an associate in offices. I had a friend that just underwent breast cancer. We were able to cover her office for her. That sort of thing. So it's definitely my wife. My kids are good kids. They're only 3 and 1, so they can't, they can't fight me too much on it. But and then just some longer hours at night. Honestly, compared to what the rest of the guys are doing, they're school teachers, believe it or not. So three of them are school teachers. One of them's an athletic director, and Tom in Tampa is an engineer. So those guys are the ones doing a lot of the heavy lifting. So most of the credit needs to go to them for a lot of this stuff. So even though we're a small team, a small group, we lean on each other, and I just think we work really well together. And I think that's how I'm able to do it, is with the help of the team. I'm a big team guy, so kudos to the team.
Yeah, so much strength in numbers.
Yeah.
So much. I mean, our podcast started off as 2 co-hosts. Now we have 4, and now we can do so many more interviews. But I'm just a huge believer in the power of numbers too. It has just been the growth is unmatched from what you can do in a group versus one person.
Absolutely. And we're just a small group too, so you never know where we could go with it, even if we had to expand the group. Hard to say.
Equine world, look out.
That's right. We're coming for all the horses out there.
All right, Seth, we love to end with the same 2 questions. So I want to ask you the first one.
Mm-hmm.
What is something that took you far too long to learn after graduation that you had wished you learned much sooner?
So this is a personal growth thing. I really enjoy teaching. So I do a lot of teaching new dentists. I mentor a lot of new dentists. I was the chair of the ADA New Dentist Committee, as I mentioned earlier, just talking and listening. So I wasn't a great listener before. And now that I'm doing more teaching and that sort of thing, I just don't think we listen enough. So if I had to pinpoint one thing, it would be the ability to actively listen better, because there's a lot that you take in when you listen and you just kind of shut your mouth. And that was me. I was kind of a bigger talker, and now I'm doing a lot more listening. And that's even something that we don't do throughout the world. Look no further than our political system. No one's listening anymore. And if you have a disagreement with someone, you have to attack their character right away. Their character gets attacked. So that's my long-winded answer for you. I would say the ability to actively listen is something that, man, I wish I would have taken that up a lot sooner than what I have.
No, that's a beautiful response. We get a different response from everyone. It's we could make a whole montage of fun responses we've gotten, but that's a really great answer.
Mm-hmm.
I heard somebody say once, I guess that's why God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. Right?
Yeah. I like that. I might steal that, Amanda.
You may.
You may.
It was not mine, so please steal it.
All right. Good.
All right. So on kind of piggybacking off of that question, what piece of advice do you wish you could go back and give yourself as a new grad?
Honestly, not to be so hard on myself. I'm a huge mental health advocate now, and man, it's literally killing people out there. Mm-hmm. So I would just say not to be so hard on myself, and to just be open-minded to different situations and different people. And that goes with listening too. You never know what someone's going to come at you with, or what their opinion is on something, and you could learn a lot. So if I could just be not quite as hard on myself when I graduated, coming out right away, I think it would have been a big help for me, because there were times when I wasn't always great mentally, going through a lot, especially after graduation, and the pressures, I'm sure you're aware, the pressures of being out in the real world without, someone being able to cover you or save you from a difficult situation, like when you're covered in school.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something that I would embrace much sooner.
Awesome.
I like that. It's got me thinking too, not just to be kind and gentle to ourselves, but to each other.
Absolutely.
With my new director role, I had a hygienist reach out, and she came at me at a level 10, and I'm like, wait a minute. I can fix any problem, but let's make this a 2.
Yeah, and even students that I have now. I mean, there's a lot of sad students out there, and school's not easy, and trying to balance, everything now, especially in like I'm 41, and the issues that I had are far different than what's going on with like a 20-year-old, that sort of thing. So you got to be really open-minded to the world and what's going on out there.
Agreed. Well, Seth, where can our listeners find your products? Where can they order, and any other information you want us to know?
Sure. So our website is www.fogheadz.com, and that's fogheadz.com. So Fogheadz with a Z.com, and we're also on Amazon as well.
Okay. And you guys are active on Instagram.
Instagram, Facebook, most of the social media platforms. We are a little bit on the older side, so if go easy on us with the social media stuff. But we're
off, Seth, we are peers here. So
right. So,
we are not old. We're just geriatric millennials.
Gotcha. But we're working on it. And we are active on social media as well. So I always give my phone number, my email out. If you shoot us a message or an email on our website, there's only 5 of us in the group. So some human is getting back to you. Okay. We don't have, a call center or anything like that. We're just genuine people that want to help out.
No Manny chat.
No.
So
you'll get a real person responding to you, and relatively fast too, because we know that's important as well.
No, Seth, just thank you for joining us on the podcast today. You guys over at Fog Headz, you're doing a wonderful job. We want to see you guys be successful. We can't wait for the next lineup. You really got my attention with some coding for the loops. Yeah, take all my money. Go right ahead. Have all my money. I'm here for that all day. But no, thank you so much. We really appreciate your time today.
Yep, thank you as well. Really appreciate your time. This was fun.